If you want to have better anger management, you have to stop treating anger as something that tells you what to do. Turns out, when it comes to controlling your anger, most people struggle with the same three things. The good news is that none of this has to be set in stone, but it can only be fixed when you know where to look. So, in today's video, I'm going to be breaking the three of those things down, the mistakes you're making, and how to erase these bad habits immediately. Therefore, if you use this video as a checklist, I guarantee that you'll be able to take back both control of your own anger and help other people control their own anger in any given situation. And let's be real, anger is a very common emotion. But you may have either learned this through experience or been told from someone else that anger must be repulsed or rejected from your body. If this was the right approach, you wouldn't be here in the first place. My point being that throughout this video, these methods may seem strange or unorthodox to you, but if you truly take the time to just practice and implement these with an open mind, you'll understand how it can solve your own anger, and then you'll be able to gift that lesson and promise to other people and be able to help them out as well. This is all for the ability of you to be able to control your own anger, so just hear me out throughout the video, and if you get confused, write something down in the comments. I can help you out. So, the first step to having better anger management is to observe, not to submerse. When you get angry, which of the following two paths resonate with you the most? Number one, you take a deep breath, relax, and try to understand what made you and the other person upset. Or number two, your anger controls part of your mind because you believe you are right or justified in the way that you think and that the other person must be wrong or inaccurate. Most people, which is probably you, take number two, the submersion path. And this path is what gets people down a very negative spiral of depression, loneliness, anxiety, because they believe that they are the only ones that could be right and everything else is wrong and against them. But this approach not only worsens you, but it worsens the other people around you as well, because nobody gets to learn anything. You don't get to learn the objective truth about the world to make yourself better and other people around you. So, I want you to imagine this instead. Maybe you're going on a walk, or you're reading. You're learning what's going on with the character, or you're seeing the trees bend in the wind and the clouds you're trying to make patterns out of. This openness and curiosity is actually one of the best frameworks to invoke emotional control. I call it observing, but the label really doesn't matter. However, doing this yourself requires you to take advantage of the small window between becoming angry and reacting to the situation. So, when practiced in real time. For example, let's say you get into an argument with someone close to you. If you get into that argument, before you even respond to any situations, pause. This pause extends the time from when you become angry and when you react to the anger, which allows you to invoke that new perspective of curiosity, of trying to understand the other person. Because when you do that, you not only do you show them that you are open and accepting to their emotion, but you're willing to help them out. Because the truth is, nobody wants to actually argue. Like, if you walked around, there's going to be probably like 3 people out of anyone you ever meet in your life that'd be like, yes, I love to start arguments with people. Like, nobody says that. So, don't think of an argument as the fact of, oh, I need to be right and this person has to be wrong. It's rather trying to explore the truth between both of your guys' versions of reality and then trying to align with that so that way you don't have to have that argument again, so you know what's right. Now, with this pause, I want you to ask this question. What do they know or believe which I do not understand? This will be a hard question to ask yourself in any given argument, but if your fear of being unable to control your anger is truly at a level where you wish to change your life and change your emotions, you'll be able to take this approach without having any issues because you'll understand that this is more valuable than just sitting there and trying to figure it out for yourself. Because the truth is, people don't want to start arguments with you, obviously, but they don't know how to end them properly. And now that you're aware of the difference between both of these mental states, you'll have the ability to control your emotions, which is very important. But most people unconsciously go through their lives submerging themselves in whatever emotion they feel in the present moment, unaware of the fact that they can change that and actually take control of their own lives by accepting that emotion and just responding to it as it comes. Anyway, without the other two missing pieces that I have in this video, you won't be able to implement this into your life and help the people closest to you. All you know is information, you don't know application yet, which is what I'm going to get into now. The second step to having better anger management is thresholds. Now, this one's really interesting because most people have the belief that they have to reach a certain level of pain or broken logic or reasoning in order to actually say something about their own anger. But the issue with that is our emotions are a response to that logic or reasoning being broken in the first place. So the more you let that reside within you, the more and more they'll be able to get past your boundaries and break that logic or reasoning. And therefore, they'll think that you're a pushover. They'll walk all over you and they won't care about your values or what you say. So what I want you to work on here is just understanding that there are no thresholds for emotions. They don't exist because the emotions themselves are a response to the external circumstances and nothing more. A lot of people make more about their emotions because they keep it in their head and they spiral. Oh, why am I angry? Why am I angry? It's because earlier when somebody said something to you, you didn't like the way it sounded because it made you feel, well, you didn't like the way it sounded because you have a belief against whatever that is, and that is what made you angry. When you understand that your emotions are the most basic level of response to something, you stop overcomplicating and, well, overthinking what your emotions are. Because in reality, if you look inwards, it's like basically displayed on a 52-inch LED TV from, and this would be like in 2006, right? Where like that would be a massive TV. Anyway, analogy aside, stop worrying about bottling it in or being more emotionally resilient. You could argue that emotional resilience actually comes from being able to accept all of these emotions and responding in a controlled manner that also is honest to you. This goal is much better and much more difficult, but we have to point out the path that most people go down, and I have gone down it myself, and that's suppression. The suppression path leaves silent disagreements on the table and eventually leads to long-term resentment and disintegration of any relationship. In the short term, it looks fine because, okay, whatever, you don't care about your emotions, they don't care, they don't know, oh, it's totally fine. But that builds up within you. You can't hold everything in forever. It's like continuously trying to carry weight on your shoulders. Eventually, you won't be able to walk. So instead of trying to take in all that emotion and take in all that frustration and anger and just eventually explode on somebody, let it go through you as it arrives. So if you find something that makes you upset, say it. Okay, this made me upset. Now, you can discover, why did that make you upset? What are your values? What is it going against? And then you can go, well, what's the truth? Oh, this thing is actually just a misunderstanding, which is what most people get in arguments because they misunderstand each other, right? It's just a lack of communication or just a lack of vocabulary and understanding of the other person, which is why you should treat an argument more as discovery rather than treating it as them actively despising or going against your values, because oftentimes it's not. With that out of the way, stop negotiating with the thresholds of your emotions and deal with the broken response mechanism that you use to address them. You can do this by being honest about yourself to others, but if you're in an environment where you cannot do this, then that relationship isn't worth keeping in the first place. The final step in this video applies to all emotions that you ever experience, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to focus on anger so it doesn't confuse you. In order to better manage your anger, listen to what's going on internally and then externalize that. You shouldn't be optimizing for what feels good, but the truth that is within you at any given moment. This will be very uncomfortable and it will feel weird at first that you're actually just, even if it's something that you think is small or stupid or you shouldn't say it, just say it anyway. And even if you can't say it to other people first, write it down. Just get it out of your system so you can look at it with your eyes or your ears, whatever, and externally see that and go, okay, now let me ask the questions about why I feel this way. Go into detail with yourself because no one else will. You have to be the person that takes in charge of your own mental well-being. And this is the first step, is to just simply write it down or bring it out into the external world so you can look at it and go, okay, this is what I need to focus on. What are the details of it? What's the truth? And that process that I mentioned earlier. The people close to you will respect you more for fighting the battle to be your honest self than to appear chivalrous or courageous while secretly relying on the pillar of sand that is your emotional well-being. When people get into arguments, I repeat this point a lot, but it's very important. It's for the goal of obtaining the truth for themselves, but subjective truths do not exist. When people debate on which football team has a better offensive line, it's usually because the truth is a gray line due to similar statistics or results that each team gets during their games. But we don't have stats for our well-being or relationships with people, which brings me to a bonus point. People tried to turn this into a statistic game by giving each other gifts of any kind and then expecting something in return. In my opinion, it's a really disgusting and foul way of measuring love and compassion for whoever it is. Often it creates double standards and it's unnecessary toxicity within any relationship. You'll feel better if you just accept the gift as is and don't try to play it off or be like, oh no, I don't need that. I don't need that. Give it to someone else. Like, dude, if someone's going to give you something, just accept it. It's a gift. Gifts are meant to be accepted. They're not meant to be fought over. Doesn't make any sense. Like, if I were to gift you something, right? Maybe it's a book of some sort. You would just take the book, say thank you, read it, and wouldn't think about it again. You wouldn't care. So when it comes to, a birthday or Christmas or whatever with your significant other, stop trying to think that you have to one-up each other. That's just going to worsen your relationship and go down that anger path again. So just a little side note on a different point that I have, but I could go more into detail on that if you want me to, let me know. But going back into the main part of this video is that if you watch to this point, I'm going to quickly recap the 3 steps to regulating anger and other negative emotions. Number 1, observe your emotions in the same way you'd watch the clouds move or understand what a character is going through in a story. Number 2, understand that when you feel the emotion, the threshold has already been broken. No need to suppress your honest opinion if you are around people who genuinely support you. And number 3, externalize that truth you feel in any given situation, despite if it feels uncomfortable or not. It's better to kill a weed at the root than watch it grow and kill your garden, hypothetically speaking. And I hope this video has helped somebody out there, and it would mean the world to me if you could give me a follow or if you could share this video with somebody else. That way, I can spread this message and hopefully find more people that this can help, because ultimately that's what I want to do. I love talking to people and I love helping them out. So if you can make my dream come true, I'd greatly appreciate that. That's it for me, and I hope you have a wonderful day.